And on domestic commodities market space, we will look at cassava flakes, popularly known as Garri in local parlance. With the border closure still enforced, consumers' focus seemed to be taken away from rice to other substitutes. Well, let's hear from one of the research analysts with financial derivatives company, Tobiloba Ogunolu. Hello, Toby. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Chimezi.
Now, cassava flakes, which we call Garri, is a popular consumer staple in Nigeria. The price has increased by 9.6% in the last 3 months. What's driving the increase in the price of this commodity?
So, Garri is a popular consumed commodity or staple in Nigeria. It is often consumed in its raw form, or otherwise it is consumed as a swallow. It is consumed popularly because of its convenience and due to the fact that it is easily preserved. So the price of this commodity has increased by about 9.6%, like you rightly said. And this has been due to the fact that consumers are shifting from the expensive, widely consumed staple, which is rice, to other commodities. We've seen that there's been an increase in the demand for Garri. There's also been an increase in the demand for yam flour too. So we've seen that the price, consumers are already shifting to these commodities, and that is what is driving the price of this commodity.
So what is the impact of this price movement on substitute products like semo and yam flour?
Yeah, so there's a direct impact between the price of a commodity and its substitute. So if there's an increase in the price of a commodity, definitely we'll see that the substitute will start to pick up. And we've seen that this has materialized in the price of the substitute. Substitute for Garri, we've seen that this is semo, and we've also seen yam flour. So the price of semo has increased. It increased from about 2,800 naira to about 2,900 naira. And also the price of yam flour has also increased. So we've seen that this has materialized as there's an increase in the price of Garri. We're seeing that consumers are shifting also to its substitute.
How has the border closure affected the output and price of Garri, especially with food inflation at 14.09% in October?
Okay, so on one hand, we've seen that the border closure has affected a number of commodities. So, for instance, the food it has affected the price of rice. It has affected several commodities in general. So we've seen that has also led to a shift, like I said before, to Garri and to yam, because yam is actually cheaper right now. So we've seen that that has also led to an increase in the price of these commodities. And on the other hand, we've seen that the output for Garri, that's cassava, and the output for some of these commodities are still static. Production is still the same, output is still the same. So this has really driven up the price of the commodity. Then looking at inflation, we've seen that the border closure is not the only one affecting, it's not the only culprit. We've seen there's been an increase in demand due to festivities. So this has really also affected the price of commodities in general. And in the last inflation figure that came out, we saw that food inflation was about 14.09, and we expect this to continue to increase. There will be increase in demand due to festivities, and this would also push up prices. And we expect this to also impact negatively on the inflation figures that would be released in the coming months.
All right, thank you, Tobiloba, for your time.